Hello, Smart Garden family. Welcome back to another game-changing episode. Today we're stepping away from the expensive bottles and synthetic shortcuts to rediscover something truly remarkable, the ancient art of fermentation for your garden. If you've been battling disappointing harvests, lackluster growth, or soil that seems tired and lifeless, what I'm about to share could completely transform your gardening journey. 3 humble ingredients, millet, molasses, and yeast, are about to become your garden's secret weapon, creating an explosion of microbial life that will revolutionize how your plants grow. Before we get into the brewing process, we need to shift our perspective on what it truly means to feed a garden. For decades, conventional gardening has focused on feeding plants directly with synthetic fertilizers, but this approach ignores the most critical component of healthy gardens: the living soil ecosystem. Your soil is home to billions of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and beneficial yeasts that form a complex web of life. These microscopic workers break down organic matter, fix nitrogen from the air, solubilize locked-up minerals, protect roots from pathogens, and deliver nutrients directly to plant roots in forms they can actually use. When we brew this microbial elixir, we're not creating just another fertilizer. We're cultivating an entire army of beneficial organisms that will transform your soil into a living, breathing nutrient factory. This is regenerative gardening at its finest, working with nature rather than against it. Let's break down why this combination is so powerful. Millet serves as the foundation of our elixir, providing complex carbohydrates, proteins, and essential minerals that act as premium food for our microbial army. Unlike simple sugars that feed only limited bacterial species, millet's diverse nutrient profile encourages a broad spectrum of beneficial organisms to flourish. The grain releases starches slowly during fermentation, creating a sustained food source that keeps microbial populations thriving long after you've applied the elixir to your soil. Molasses enters the equation as pure microbial fuel. Unsulfured blackstrap molasses is loaded with readily available sugars, calcium, magnesium, iron, and potassium, all elements that microorganisms crave. The carbon-rich sweetness supercharges microbial metabolism, causing populations to explode during fermentation. This isn't the refined white sugar that feeds harmful organisms. Molasses promotes beneficial bacteria and fungi while providing trace minerals that eventually make their way into your plants. The thick, dark syrup becomes the energy source that powers the entire fermentation process. Yeast completes our trinity as the fermentation catalyst. Active dry yeast introduces specific beneficial microorganisms that kickstart the breakdown of complex molecules into simpler, bioavailable forms. During fermentation, yeast produces enzymes, amino acids, vitamins, and organic acids that other soil microbes will utilize. The fermentation process itself creates an anaerobic environment that favors beneficial lactic acid bacteria, similar to those found in yogurt and kimchi. These organisms produce compounds that suppress soil pathogens while enhancing nutrient availability. Together, these 3 ingredients create a synergistic effect far greater than any single component could achieve alone. Creating your microbe elixir requires precision and patience, but the process is wonderfully straightforward. Begin by gathering 1 cup of crushed millet or millet bran, half a cup of unsulfured blackstrap molasses, 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast, and 1 gallon of non-chlorinated water. Chlorine is the enemy of beneficial microbes, so if you're using tap water, let it sit uncovered for 24 to 48 hours to allow chlorine to dissipate, or simply use rainwater. You'll also need a clean, opaque plastic container with a tight-fitting lid. Darkness is crucial because light can degrade beneficial compounds and discourage certain microorganisms from thriving. Start by dissolving the molasses in a small amount of warm water, ensuring it's thoroughly mixed before adding it to your container. In a separate bowl, activate your yeast by stirring it into a cup of lukewarm water and waiting until it becomes bubbly and foamy. This usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes. This step confirms your yeast is alive and ready to work. Once activated, add the yeast mixture and crushed millet to your container with the molasses solution. Then, top up with the remaining non-chlorinated water, leaving about 2 inches of headspace at the top. Seal your container and place it in a warm location where temperatures remain between 77 and 95 degrees Fahrenheit. A kitchen corner, garage, or outdoor shed during warm weather works perfectly. Here's the critical part. Fermentation produces carbon dioxide gas, so you must burp your container daily by briefly opening the lid to release buildup pressure. Skipping this step could result in a messy explosion, so set a daily reminder if necessary. Over the next 5 to 7 days, magical transformations occur inside that container as microorganisms multiply exponentially, breaking down starches and sugars into simpler compounds while producing beneficial metabolites. Your elixir is ready when it develops a sweet, tangy, or slightly yeasty aroma reminiscent of bread dough or beer. White yeast flakes floating on the surface are completely normal and indicate healthy fermentation. If your brew smells putrid, rotten, or offensively foul, something went wrong, likely contamination from harmful bacteria, and you should discard it and start fresh. Success produces a living solution teeming with billions of beneficial microorganisms ready to colonize your soil. Never apply your microbe elixir straight from the fermentation container. These concentrated organisms need dilution to work effectively and safely. For a general soil drench, mix 1 part elixir to 20 parts non-chlorinated water. For example, 1 cup of your brew would go into 5 gallons of water. This dilution allows you to cover more ground while ensuring the microbial population spread evenly through your soil. Water the base of your plants thoroughly until the soil is saturated, focusing on the root zone where these organisms will do their best work. For seedlings or young transplants, consider a more diluted solution, perhaps 1 part elixir to 30 or 40 parts water, until plants establish stronger root systems. Mature vegetable gardens, fruit trees, and ornamental beds can handle the standard 20-to-1 ratio every 2 to 3 weeks throughout the growing season. The best time to apply is early morning or evening when temperatures are cooler and evaporation is minimal. Always water your plants with plain water first to ensure the soil is moist before applying the elixir. This helps the microbes penetrate deeper and prevents any potential burning from concentrated application. Within weeks of regular application, you'll notice profound changes. Leaves develop deeper green coloration as nitrogen-fixing bacteria colonize root zones. Plants show increased vigor, faster growth, and improved resistance to pests and diseases. Your soil structure transforms, becoming darker, crumblier, and more alive with earthworm activity. Root systems expand dramatically as beneficial fungi form mycorrhizal associations, extending the plant's reach for water and nutrients. This isn't a quick chemical fix. It's a fundamental transformation of your garden's living ecosystem. The true magic of this microbe elixir reveals itself over time as you continue feeding your soil's biological community. Each application builds upon the last, creating increasingly diverse and resilient microbial populations. Pair this practice with other regenerative techniques like cover cropping, mulching, and composting to compound the benefits. Avoid synthetic fertilizers and pesticides that disrupt the microbial balance you're working so hard to establish. Your garden becomes a self-sustaining ecosystem where plants and microorganisms work in perfect harmony, reducing your need for external inputs while producing unprecedented abundance. This is the future of gardening, working with nature's wisdom rather than fighting against it. Your 3-ingredient elixir represents a return to practices our ancestors understood instinctively, now backed by modern soil science. The investment is minimal, the results are extraordinary, and the satisfaction of growing food and flowers in truly living soil is honestly immeasurable. If this guide has inspired you to start your own soil revolution, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that subscribe button to join our smart garden community and share this video with every gardener you know who's ready to experience the explosive growth that comes from brewing their own microbe elixir. Let's grow together.